Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and in today's video I am going to be doing my trailer breakdown for the latest trailer, and the first trailer should I say, for Revolution of the Daleks, that had a lot in for a minute long trailer, not gonna lie, and I absolutely loved it. I've watched it quite a lot already and I'm really excited for the episode. I'm excited for when it releases on New Year's Day, and honestly I'm already counting down the days, but without further ado, let's discuss this new trailer. So the first shot is the prison that the Doctor's on, that we saw at the end of the Timeless Children, that I personally believe, and a lot of other people believe, that it is going to be the Time Lord prison Sharda. And so there's a lot of things in that prison that are very interesting. So we get a shot of a door opening and the Doctor in her prison outfit that again has symbols that relate to the Sharda prison, so it's basically Sharda confirmed at this point, and it looks like she's going to be walking into her prison cell, or at least a different prison cell, because there's two that we'll be getting onto in a bit. So the first one is in this huge room that is filled with quite a lot of Easter eggs. Now, in one part of the prison there is a humanoid creature that looks like a Cyberman at first glance, but I personally think it is one of the Stenza. I don't think it's Tim Shaw specifically, but obviously the Stenza are supposedly a big threat to the galaxy that was introduced in Chibnall's era, so it would make sense that one of the Stenza would show up in this prison, if I'm being honest. And then, directly in front of the Doctor, it looks like we have a Weeping Angel in there as well. That's pretty interesting. And then right behind the Doctor, there's a Bating that I personally didn't expect to see in Doctor Who again, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, here we go. You know, there's a lot of Easter eggs here already, and I may have missed out some returning monsters. So if you have seen anything or anything like that, just let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, we move on to the next shot, where we get the Doctor back in the other room that we saw at the end of the Timeless Children, with her looking out the window, presumably looking, you know, sorry for herself, and just, you know, she's bored. She's stuck in prison. She's presumably been there for a long time as well, so it'll be very interesting to see how that's had an effect on her as a character. And then, obviously, with all these shots going on, there is a narration by Captain Jack, who is discussing the whole impact the Doctor has had on his life, and obviously, no matter how his relationship with the Doctor has gone, they've always been on the same side. So very interesting stuff there, and a nice little reference as well about the Doctor leaving Captain Jack behind as well in the season 1 finale. Then we move to a thing that I didn't personally expect to see, but we have one of the TARDISes from Gallifrey that the companions used to escape. And then we've got a lot of post-its here, and it looks like that Yaz has potentially been sleeping in this TARDIS, because if you remember, at the end of the Timeless Children, the TARDIS went back to modern Earth, 21st century, 2020 I believe as well, so not really good year, but anyway, yeah, it went back to the present day in disguise with the Chameleon Arc as a, Chameleon Circuit, and it was stuck, well, I'll say stuck, it was in the disguise of a house, so perhaps, you know, she's been just living in this house, aka the TARDIS, and that she has been taking notes upon where the Doctor is and stuff like that. So she could personally believe that the Doctor isn't dead. That is actually true, but the companions might think otherwise. And during this conversation scene, Graham and Ryan are talking about the news that has broken out about this Dalek that we'll be discussing in a second, and it looks like they have to convince Yaz to actually help out. That, you know, would be an interesting thing to see, because obviously if Yaz has given up all hope, then maybe she's, you know, gone through some interesting developments. Maybe she's lost her job or something like that. You know, there's a lot of things to discuss here. But either way, pretty exciting stuff, and I can't wait to see this dynamic played out in the special. And then, obviously, in the shot as well, we get to see Yaz taking notes again. So maybe she is kind of it's like a precursor to that infamous table picture that was shown off at the New York Comic Con, where we saw the companions around a table and they were writing up notes about the GCHQ, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from the Resolution episode where they had Dalek weapons. So perhaps this could be where that scene takes place, potentially. And then we get a really good shot of a Dalek coming through the smoke and everything like that, and I presume this is where it is revealed by the UK government. That is a really good shot, I've got to say, and I am starting to like the new Dalek design now I've seen it in action, and I can't wait to see it more in the special. And then we get a pretty cool shot as well that features presumably Doctor Who's Prime Minister at the moment, and we've got two Daleks side by side here. The detail is pretty amazing, I'm not gonna lie. The colours there, like lighting up blue, is fantastic, and yeah, it would be pretty cool to see if she is the Prime Minister, because she's certainly got a unique friendship going on with the US President in the Doctor Who universe at the moment. And then this shot as well, I missed this on my first couple times watching the trailer, but that looks like to be a Dalek Mutant, a Dalek Squid, or however you want to call it. And yeah, it's very interesting to see how they are going to be forming these Dalek Mutants, because obviously these are going to be a new form of Daleks. That obviously Daleks are known for their conquest, and that they are a big fan of purity, so that will be something else I'll be bringing up later on in this breakdown. But in here though, we have one of the new guest stars, and we have Jack Robertson presumably returning as the President of America this time round. And then we have a close-up shot of these people opening up the new Dalek casing, and I would presume this is where we first see the Dalek Squid in the festive special. And then we have a shot of Ryan, Grain and Yaz, presumably outside Yaz's flat as usual, but I would like to say the person that they are talking to probably isn't Captain Jack, because we do get a follow-up shot of Captain Jack introducing himself and saying that he's immortal. I don't think Captain Jack is talking to these guys, obviously, because they already know who he is, and personally I reckon Captain Jack is probably talking to the Daleks, or maybe Jack Robertson, maybe, perhaps, but I don't think it's Ryan Graham or Yaz. And then we get a shot that kind of does add up to the behind the scenes photos that we've seen of the Bronze era, Russell T Davies era Daleks on the Bristol Suspension Bridge. That seems like a while ago now. It was well over a year ago that when those photos got released. And yeah, essentially I think this is where the pure Daleks, the real Daleks, will take note that these new Daleks have kind of gone rogue, and they're like, hang on a minute, these guys aren't Daleks, so that's probably where there's going to be a war that will break out, and the Dalek saucer will enter the atmosphere, and that's when the fight on the suspension bridge will happen. And then we have like a shot of Yaz on presumably some form of spaceship, or maybe the laboratory that we have seen with the Dalek mutant in the cage, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Looks very sci-fi-ish, so yeah, pretty cool. And then we move on to a really good shot of the Daleks hovering through the sky, blasting the crowd below. And I presume that these new Daleks end up going rogue from the government, or the government just decide that this is the overall plan with these Daleks. And yeah, I presume this is what attracts the attention of the pure Daleks, the Russell T Davies era Daleks, and they decide, you know what, we're going to come down to Earth and we are going to sort this shit out, and that's where the Civil War breaks loose. And then, just to reiterate what I said earlier, where I said that the companions aren't meeting up with Captain Jack outside Yaz's, I do think that this is Jack Robinson, because obviously we can see Yaz in the shot there, it's like an over-shoulder thing, and yeah, he says, oh, you guys, so he must be referring to his previous episode appearance in Arachnids in the UK. And then a very interesting shot here of someone getting either murdered or possessed by the Dalek Mutant. Now, it's hard to say who it is from the shot, but I would say it could be Captain Jack, potentially. But it looked like the environment kind of looks like a home setting. There's like a fireplace or something, like some form of energy source in front of whoever this is. But I don't know, just from the build and stature, I would probably say Captain Jack, maybe. And then this shot as well, there's a bunch of, well, Dalek squids in these tanks. And I would probably guess that this is the same laboratory that we've seen with the Dalek squid in the casing, and where Yaz and Captain Jack are in the earlier parts of the trailer. So perhaps this is something that they see and they realise that, oh, this Dalek experiment slash project is a lot bigger than they originally thought it was. And then we get a shot of Yaz that's pretty interesting. The background to me looks like it is the 13th Doctor's TARDIS, so presumably she either finds the TARDIS, because the last time we saw the TARDIS was at the end of the Time of the Children, where the Judoon teleported on and arrested the Doctor. So potentially we could see Yaz find the TARDIS, or that the TARDIS somehow gets to her, or maybe we get Jodie Whittaker's Doctor finally break free from prison, and that she makes an appearance in the final act of the episode or something. And then another shot of Graham and Ryan that is now confirmed to be their last episode in the series altogether, so it's going to be a bit of an emotional one, but judging from the background and everything like that, it looks like the same environment where Captain Jack says, you know, he's Captain Jack Harkness, and that he's immortal. So, I don't know, could it be one of the presidential offices, or could it be part of the laboratory? We don't know, but either way, some pretty exciting stuff there. As you know, it is going to be an emotional episode for their departure. And then we've got, again, I presume this is in the same laboratory that we've just talked about in multiple shots, but we've got Captain Jack Harkness with the square gun. That is a good callback to Series 1, where he used it in his debut episode. That was a really good one. And I presume he's using this against a Dalek Mutant. But I think this Dalek Mutant is going to be latching itself onto someone. But anyway, the next shot is a extreme close-up of a Dalek gun that I presume is off the new Daleks, not any of the Russell T Davies era Daleks, just because obviously it's darker in colour and isn't bronze. So yeah, it's probably going to be one of the new Daleks. And then we get a shot of this Dalek mutant that I presume is a different design mutant, because it looks completely different from the ones that we even saw in Resolution. So perhaps this could be some mutant that's been designed through old flesh or something like that. It's been designed somehow by the humans, and that they are essentially using it to, you know, design their new Daleks, their new advanced military. But yeah, it looks like it's about to latch itself onto Yaz. That could lead into some dark territory that I do have a separate theory video going up on that soon. But either way, some pretty exciting stuff. And then the final shot of the trailer is Jodie Whittaker's Doctor still in the prison, but she's talking either to herself or someone through the wall. Now, could it be another prisoner? Because we do know that there are a lot of aliens on that prison ship already, so maybe she's planning a prison break with the other creatures, perhaps. Maybe they form an alliance. That would be pretty cool to see, but I guess we'll find out. But we get the markings on the walls that we've seen in the promo pictures already anyway, but not a lot to go off from this shot, but it looks like, you know, she's trying to stay motivated while being imprisoned. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, rating, and subscribe, and I'll see you all on my next video. Goodbye for now.